Thanks for that live report. Now to developing news tonight. Could preventing cancer be as simple as getting a vaccine from your doctor?
Well, UMass Amherst researchers say they've developed a vaccine that can effectively prevent several different types of cancer in mice. Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson is live in studio with more on the research. Pretty amazing stuff, Addie.
That's right, Chris and Amanda. The nanoparticle-based vaccine has proven to prevent melanoma, pancreatic, and triple-negative breast cancer in mice. So how does the vaccine work? Scientists say it teaches the immune system to recognize and attack cancer molecules similar to the flu shot. Nearly all of the vaccinated mice who were tested on remained tumor-free after being exposed to cancerous cells and survived until the study ended at 250 days. In some cases, the vaccine also completely prevented the cancer spread. However, all the mice vaccinated with traditional vaccines or the ones who remained unvaccinated developed tumors, with none surviving longer than 35 days. One of the biggest things researchers were able to take away from this study was the tumor rejection rate after the vaccinated mice were exposed to cancer. Those rates were 88% for pancreatic cancer, 75% for breast cancer, and 69% for melanoma. Researchers say they believe today's announcement could lead to new ways in preventing and treating cancer, especially for people who are most at risk of the disease. Reporting live in studio, Addie Patterson, Western Mass News.